Hi, my name is Mona Elesseily. I'm with a company called PageZero Media, and I'm reporting here today from SES Toronto. And I am interviewing Fredrick Marckini, who just gave his keynote presentation here. Fredrick Marckini is from a company called Isobar, and he is the Chief
Global Search Officer.
Chief Global Search Officer. So, in your keynote presentation, you talked about trends in terms of online marketing, and I'm just going to go over a few of the things that you spoke about and maybe get you to expand on them a little bit more. So, you talked about integrating online and offline search as one of your points, and I'm just wondering, well, first of all, do you have statistics on that? Like, do you have statistics on, say, for people that are coming from online sources, do they convert more than, say, people that are coming from elsewhere?
Well, the Jupiter study that we cited shows that roughly 40% of the people who went online stimulated from an offline source and conducted a search, 40% of them actually converted and made a purchase. And that's significant because that means that if your offline advertising is driving people online and they use search, you have a very good likelihood of converting them. But more importantly, if your offline advertising is driving people online to search and they don't find you, they're going to convert, 40% of them will convert with your competitors, and that's important to pay attention to.
So in terms of tracking offline to online, are there any pointers that you can give? It's obviously, when we talk at these conferences and whatnot, this is something that comes up really often. So we'd be really interested to hear what you have to say on this.
There's a number of ways to track it. Some really broad ways and it varies a little bit by vertical. So one of our clients is a healthcare provider. And what they found was when they stopped their TV campaigns, they noticed that telephone calls to telephone numbers that were associated only with search ads dropped significantly. So that's one way to know that you have that connection. Another way is to tie specific phone numbers to specific keywords, and then you can track which keywords are driving the phone calls. But in terms of the offline to online, one of the key ways to do it is to do post-purchase surveys and determine if what different touch points they had.
Perfect. I guess another thing I've heard is that if it's a lead generation campaign and the leads are driven to a sales team, that there could be some kind of code on the page, and people are, when they call in, they're asked to kind of give the code. So it's another way to kind of.
Absolutely.
And with Google now, I guess there's all the Salesforce integration, so it can get really super sexy now. So. Okay. So another thing you talked about was global. And going global with your paid search campaigns. So there obviously have to be some challenges when a company wants to go global. Could you outline a few challenges that companies could face if they wanted to do such a thing?
One of the most important challenges is recognizing that language is really country specific, and simply having people sitting in the US who seem to be native speakers may or may not be sufficient. So you really want to make sure that you're engaging a search engine marketing company that has boots in the ground in different markets, and that's the best way to guarantee you're getting the best in-country knowledge of the language. Other than that, what you want to pay attention to is in which markets you can sell your products. So some products really don't have any kind of boundaries. So if you're selling a PDF download that people pay for, you really have no boundaries, but there may be issues with shipping to certain markets that prevent you, or your product may have regulatory issues in those markets. But key is pay attention to which markets have strong online populations. Most importantly, you have to be advertising in the UK, you have to be in Germany, you have to be in Italy, you have to be in Spain, just for starters. Western Europe is so thoroughly involved in digital and online and search that you really need to expand your campaigns into Western Europe as quickly as you can. Asia is slower to come online, but there's some markets in Asia that matter. Thailand, Hong Kong. China has one of the most monstrous online populations, and while search marketing isn't widely adopted by marketers there, it has to pick up speed soon.
Perfect. Thank you for talking to us today, Fredrick.
Thank you.